my channel. My name is Autumn Embers and welcome to me doing a magical B&B because this is my entry for the Ivory Magic Shell 3 challenge, and I will link her Twitter and her Instagram down below so you can follow her, see what she's up to, see when she's streaming because she does a lot of streaming over on Twitch. But this is her shell challenge and I really want to take part in this shell challenge because instead of just being a normal shell challenge where you just build a random shape that kind of look like it could be a house and just leaving it up to the people taking part in the shell challenge and making it into a house or community lot and just leave them to do whatever they want with it. This one gives you an objective, it gives you a direction, it goes into like a path way for you to go down into or onto, and basically it was to make a magical B&B, and I really like that. I really like that idea because it gives you a sense of direction of what you should do with this place. And I would have never thought to make a B&B, let alone a magical B&B in The Sims 4, because we don't have a lot type in The Sims 4 that says B&B or magical B&B. It doesn't exist. So for that reason, I would have done or made a magical B&B if I was just left to my own devices. It would never have happened. But because this shell challenge is asking to be made into magical B&B, I've now made one, and I might make another one. I can make like a normal one, because I actually did this shell challenge twice. Because the first time I did it, there was nothing wrong with it. It was lovely. I liked it. It just wasn't very magical at all. It was just like a normal B&B, and I wasn't really feeling it. It's like, oh, I spent ages on it and it didn't look anything like a magical B&B. So I redid it. I made sure the roofing is kind of similar to the first one. I just made sure, the pitch is slightly higher because magical, evil looking witchy houses, the pictures on the roof is always higher. I made sure it's a bit more like curvier, like it was older. So I made sure of that. And instead of putting the front door on the front of it, I've actually put a waterfall there. So I put the front door to the side. Now the reason why I did that is because I've watched other videos or shell challenges being done and what other people have done with shell challenges, not for this one, but for like other shells. And I remember watching a shell that someone else did. I can't remember who was the maker of the shell challenge, but I remember watching it, and I remember one person, instead of making the front of the shell, they actually twisted it around so the back is now the front and the front was now the back. Now I was going to do that, but then I plonked a waterfall at the front. So I was like, oh, okay. But then I remember also watching someone else doing something similar and actually putting the door to the side, which is what I did since I put a waterfall at the front. And so that's why I put the door to the side, because I saw someone else do it, and it was just sort of like it was something nice to do to mix it up a little bit. Bear in mind, I've already done this once. So that's why I put the shell. So that is why I put the door to the side, just to mix it up a little bit. Also with this shell challenge, you also had to make sure you had the cauldron from Realm of Magic. If you didn't have the Realm of Magic pack, it's fine, because you already got you covered. Because if you didn't have the Realm of Magic pack that came with the cauldron, then you could use the fountain from the basin that kind of looks like a cauldron. But I had the Realm of Magic pack, so I used the cauldron and I put it up on the balcony. There is also another cauldron in the garden, just in case someone is using that cauldron and you want to do a bit of spell making, potiony making, or mac and cheese, or chili con carne, and you can't because someone else is using the cauldron. Now you can, because there's two cauldrons. So one is on the balcony, one is through a maze. I love mazes. It's annoying in The Sims 4 that they don't appreciate a maze, because the point of a maze is to get lost and be clueless as to where you are going. That's the whole point of a maze. It is absolutely fun. And then when you get to the middle, you got to figure out how to get back to like the ending of it, and it's just so confusing. But with Sims, they don't have that. They just have the knowledge of where an item is that is at the other end of the maze, and they'll just go through it. And it's just like, oh, you're not enjoying the point of a maze, and that is to get lost in it, and it's just a shame. But I put in a maze in there anyways because I love mazes. I'm not very good at drawing mazes, so I had to have a little bit of help from Google. But I love mazes that you can do them yourself, you know. Just tilt the camera up a little bit. You can find your way around. It's a very simple maze. I was doing it, so it had to be simple. So we got a maze in there. We also had some very colourful trees. I did decide to put down, at first, some like normal colour trees. But then as I was going about and putting down some crystals, so I was originally putting down some rocks around the waterfalls, because this place has 2 waterfalls, and I was at first just covering them with rocks. I then decided, because this is meant to be a magical B&B, so I decided to swap the rocks up for not shells, what's it called? Gems. What they're called? Gems, not what else they're called? Gems. What are they called? I can't remember. Crystals. I decided to mix them up a little bit, take the rocks out, and just switch up some crystals. So we got some magical waterfall crystals there. With the windows, you saw me put them at the front of this build, the little square windows with the flaps on them at the bottom. I made those windows. I'm so happy with them. Normally when I combine 2 objects or objects that we already have in the game, normally I've seen it somewhere else. I've seen someone else do it for me, and I just want to try it out for myself. But this time I did it all by myself. I found it out all by myself, because I was just sort of like playing around with the new patch update, the free prezi that they give us when they release a new pack. This free update came with the Marmite pack, let's just call it that. So they gave us this free update where you could put 2 windows side by side without them glitching. You could put them on top of each other without glitching, and I discovered that you can put the Discover University and the Jungle Adventure window, the one that has just like the hole in it with a flap on to the side. You can overlay those 2 windows to make a really, really cute, adorable little window. It's so cute. And I also discovered that those 2 windows are very similar from one another. It's so strange, because I can't remember when Jungle Adventure came out, but I do know there is a massive gap between Discover University and Realm of Magic. Not Realm of Magic, Discover University and Jungle Adventure. There's massive gaps between them. And yet, Discover University and Jungle Adventure both have very, very, very similar swatches and window frames. So if you go and have a look at the Jungle Adventure and the Discover University window frames and the colour swatches, you'll see that they are very similar. Some will say they're just like recycling colours and window frames and might be like somewhat annoyed to it, but I don't mind it because of this new free patch update or little prezi that they gave us. I'm not too mad with it, because with that new prezi type thing that they gave us, we can now quite easily make our own windows, because they have similar swatches, because they have similar designs to them. It may have been like annoying before, but I now don't think it is as annoying as it once was, because like I said, we can now make our own windows without going, oh, it's so close to be so similar. but we can't because we can't make that window because it's not the same. But now we can because they are kind of similar. So I don't mind that. I don't mind them to be so similar. One's got a hole in it, one's got window panes in it. I don't mind that they are so similar. It just means we can now make our own windows with ease without going, they won't have the same colour swatch, but now they do. They're not going to have it with every single window. I've just noticed that the Jungle Adventure and Discovery University windows have very similar swatches and window frames to them. That's all. This is something I've noticed and never noticed it before. I've only noticed it now because of the free Prezi update patch thing they gave us when they released the launch of the Marmite pack. So that's what I've noticed. Never noticed it before. I also noticed with the Jungle Adventure double windowed, I kind of used it with the Discovery University windows at the back, so the bigger ones, but those Jungle Adventure windows with the flaps, it's slightly bigger, it has a hole in it. I put a picture up so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't think I've described it very well, but I think they look kind of like and could be perfect for a TARDIS. I think it'd be perfect. I don't know if they fully cover the height of a short wall that we have in the game. I'm not too sure about that, but if they do, just use that. Then again, it's got a hole in it. Perhaps not. But anyways, it has kind of like same colouring for the TARDIS. I thought, that's great. Never knew that because I don't really use the Jungle Adventure windows, mainly because of the hole. But with the similarities between Discovery University and Jungle Adventure, might start be using the Jungle Adventure windows a little bit more because now I can create these cute little windows. So just moving inside, like I said, I did this twice. The first time round, like I said, nothing wrong with it. It wasn't floating me boat and it wasn't magical enough. So I redid it and made sure there was an emphasis on magicalness. So I made sure I used a lot of items from the Realm of Magic pack because I thought if there was any items in this game that's going to be magical, it's going to be from that pack because that's what they were driving towards too. So I used a lot of that in this shell. So when I uploaded this to the gallery, I was really happy with it, and then I saw someone else doing the exact same shell and I really liked it. I looked inside and they used the Discovery University's canteen help yourself food things, and I was like, that's brilliant actually for B&B, for bread and breakfast. That would have been perfect, but because I think I've only gone from 2 B&Bs, 2 bread and breakfast in real life, and the one I can remember, their kitchen was just like a closed off kitchen that you would have in your own home, which is why I did a closed off kitchen for this B&B show. But when I saw this other person use the Discovery University canteen, help yourself food things, I was like, that's perfect. Why didn't I think about that? Duh. But I just went for a normal kitchen, and with the layout that I have, I don't think they would have fitted in anyways. Also, I'm not too sure if they can work in a residential home because, like I said, there isn't a B&B bread and breakfast lot type or lot trait in The Sims 4, and so it's like, okay, we are encouraged to make a magical B&B, but since there's a lot type or lot trait, what do we put it as? So I looked at other people's, one, to get an idea of what to make it look like, what I can do with it, and 2, what type of lot type do I put it as? Most people went for residential, so I just went for that as well. And so when I saw someone using that Discovery University canteen thing, I thought, that's great, but also, will it work on a residential lot? I don't know. It could do, but I've never tried. I've never really built with those canteen things. So I don't know if it does work with a residential, if it does work, but anyways, it was just like, that's perfect for a B&B. Why didn't I use it? So Moving on to the bedroom, so we have 3 bedrooms in this B&B. We have 2 double bedrooms with like double beds in them, and then we have an upstairs bedroom with 2 single beds. So it's a bedroom that has 2 single beds in it. I said it right first time round. So the reason why I made sure there was a bedroom that had 2 single beds in them, just in case you found this magical B&B. You may not be like a magical creature yourself, but this B&B welcomes all magical, non-magical, and you just find this place, you're looking like a drowned rat because it's raining cats and dogs outside, and you're just popping in here, you're travelling with someone, but you don't know them that well that you can actually share a bed with, and so I just popped down 2 single beds in one room, and I found it's a bit more realistic because that's kind of like the sleeping arrangement I'm used to. So this is where the single beds are. They all have their own bathroom. I know some B&Bs, I think. I have never been to a B&B that asks you to but that wasn't a B&B though. Anyways, most B&Bs I've been to have their own like ensuite bathroom. The thing that I was like about was because in my head I have been to a place where it was basically backpackers, where you had to share the shower. You know, we go have a shower. They were in their own cubicles, which was lovely. They had their own door. The door was lovely and thick. Had no gaps underneath like you see in those American toilet stalls. I thought they were joking. Like, I thought it was like just the things you see in schools, but no. I went to like New York last year, needed to go to the loo. Actually, really needed to go to the loo on the plane, but I was like, I'm not going to the loo on the plane. Plane loos freak me out. I'm not doing that. So I held on and I went to the loo in the airport, and they're right. Why do you have massive gaps between the floor and the door? It says what? Why? But it can't. Why? Why don't you have shorter, smaller gaps between wall and door? It's like privacy invaded here with how much gap is between wall and floor and door. I don't like it. I felt a bit exposed. But this one had a full length door, no gap. And it was fine actually. I was just building up in my head. I thought it was going to be absolutely horrendous. But it was alright. It was fine. The only annoying bit about their bathrooms in this backpackers place was that it was one of those taps you had to keep your hand on. So you had to sort of like wash yourself one-handed because the other hand was keeping this pusher pushed down, because otherwise, if you wash yourself two-handed, it would slowly pop back up, and it's like, and then the water would stop. It's like, oh, so you had to kind of, wash one-handed, whilst the other hand was keeping the pressure on this little button, which kept the water going. But in this place, we don't have that. We have normal showers that you can just turn the tap and the water just runs down. All of them have their own bathroom, I forgot the word, and I was going to use that ombre black and grey purple wallpaper. I would have used that if this was just like a generic residential home, but since this is meant to be like a magical B&B, it is like a this is a public used space. Everyone's going to be using it. I just thought, let's just keep it plain and simple and go for a nice navy blue to kind of tie in with the navy blue outside. I really love the colour scheme with this. I was first going for like a evil colour scheme, and normally when I go for evil colour schemes, I normally go for like black or even like a natural coppery greeny colour. But for this, I actually went for stone, navy blue, and with like the darker honey kind of wood, which I really like. I'd never thought navy blue and a dark honey wood colour would go together. But I think they do in this build, matched with some black. I think it looks quite nice. It is in the colour scheme I've done before, but I quite like it, you know. So I'm just putting some like decorations down. Thought it'd be nice for like a magical B&B, just have some magical bits and bobs around. If people come here and they're not very magical, they go, oh, that's interesting, love. Oh, look here. Oh, they got some, looks like do some, I don't think this is a normal B&B here. I mean, they've got a fun looking cauldron on that balcony there, and through the maze, and they've got a weird display cabinet with insects. The insects I'm fine with, but what are these? They're either experimenting with stuff, or they're doing something else. So we put that down there. Just putting some vines on here to make it more magical, much more oldie woldy like. And I just really, really like my houses or B&Bs to have what's it called, flowers and vines along it. You know what is magical? Mushrooms. Just put some rocks down. These rocks do stay. It's just the rocks around the waterfalls that get replaced by gems. Most of the trees around here are, well, the trees on my lot are of like a bluey, purpley colour. I've always thought, how are you going to use blue, purpley trees? And there's like, oh, places like magical B&Bs, that's where you use them. So I used them, never used them before. This little pathway that I'm just laying down here, that gets deleted, well, half of it gets deleted in exchange for a lovely maze that Sims just don't grab the concept and the lovely funness of getting lost in, because they just don't care. They see a way out and they go for it. Come on, Sims, be lost, you know? Get lost in the maze, find your middle, and then find your way out and get lost on the way back. It will be fun. It'll be fun, you know? Just get lost. Get lost, Sims. So this is basically the shell. This is basically the magical B&B shell. Did I say that I'll leave her Twitter and Instagram down below? If not, I will leave her Twitter and Instagram down below so you can check out what she's doing and when she's streaming, because she streams a lot. I can't remember if I said that. If I haven't, that's where you can check it out, just in the description box below. But I will leave you guys here. I'm talking in the dark because it was light and now it's not. And so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next one. So thank you and goodbye.